Hey, YouTube, thank you for coming back to watch some Salty Flag TV. Got a little bit different thing today. We're not out fishing on the jet ski or whatever. We're going to be putting a Weatherby Vanguard First Light 300 Win Mag into a Woox stock. That is WOOX. If you haven't heard of them, these stocks are absolutely gorgeous. We're going to go through an install. I'm going to talk about how everything went. You'll be able to see it in real time. As I go through this, I'm going to kind of talk you through that install. So first of all, I've got the gun cleared. There's no ammunition in it, and I've got it sitting in the lead sled upside down. There's only 2 torque bits in this gun that holds this gun into the stock. And really the problem that I was having is I could not get this gun to pattern no matter what I did. I tried 5 different ammunitions in it. It's already got a thin fluted barrel in the gun, and basically after 2 shots the barrel's hot, and I found it on my 3rd shot it would throw the 3rd shot off maybe 1 to 2 inches most of the time. The first 2 shots are generally sub MOA. Now Vanguard, from when I just discussed it with them, they guarantee a 3-shot sub MOA group to the first owner for the first 2 years. I couldn't get that no matter what I did, and I found that the barrel was touching the stock, and that there was a problem there that I'd never seen a more precision rifle where the barrel touched the stock. Now I did read and see some videos where if you've got a floated barrel and you're shooting some really tight groups, there is some harmonics that goes on, and people do take and they can put pressure certain spots on the barrel and maybe get the group even tighter. But I wasn't even shooting 4-inch groups, so I had a problem. I was able to take this First Light stock and I milled out the stock in order to get the barrel to free float. Problem is that this stock is not very rigid, and if I tighten the torque bits down to the recommended 25 inch-pounds, it would squeeze the stock back to the barrel again, and so I wasn't able to do that. I think I ended up putting it at like 15 or 17 foot-pounds, somewhere along in there, and I used some Loctite. And then I went out to the range and I shot a 3-inch group, or I'm sorry, a 3-shot group that with the floated barrel that was smaller than a quarter. A quarter would cover up that group. Now I called Weatherby and I talked to them about this, even though I couldn't get a warranty. I wanted their opinion on it. And they said that's how these rifle stocks are made. They're made to touch the barrel. They guarantee their stocks, and and so forth. And I told them my problems that I had, and I'd shot so many different types of ammo. And they recommended that if I wanted to, they recommended a different stock for the gun, and it was a carbon fiber stock. I went and looked at it, and as I was looking, I ran across these Woox stocks. And you're going to see me pull it out of the box right here. It's an absolutely beautiful stock. This stock is American walnut. It's made by a high-end Italian furniture company. Makes the wood, and then the metal, the black part there, is billet aluminum that's been milled out. It's not stamped, and it runs all the way up to foregrip there, and then down into the stock. Plus, it has a cheek riser that's made out of American walnut. It does add a little bit of weight to the gun. I think that stock that I have there, it's an Exactus, is the rear part of the stock, and then the foregrip is the Cobra. It has M-lock on the bottom, but I didn't want M-lock on the sides. They have several different configurations, and I just thought that this stock was absolutely beautiful. I spoke to Woox representative myself. Her name was Sarah, and they're in Hickory, North Carolina, is where they sell these stocks. You can see underneath my arm there. There's some Picatinny that you can put a sling mount on, and then M-lock in the front. And that's what I did. I just went online and they sent me some sling swivels, but the slings that I had were already kind of made into the swivel with kind of like the quick disconnect, and so I wanted to keep that same that same thing. So I just bought some adapters that I could use. What you're seeing me do right now is I'm trying to get the trigger plate and all put into the to the stock, and I'm having a little bit of trouble. There was a tiny bit of milling on the trigger plate that I had to go and do with my Dremel tool. So at the front end, and I don't show that here because it's really wasn't that big of a deal, but on the front of that trigger plate, I just took my Dremel tool with a little round sanding disc, and I just went around the very end of it just slightly, making sure that I didn't mess up the finish on the top where you could see it. And then I was able to get that seated in there. I'm spending a lot of time right here just trying to get it to seat, just to make sure that it wasn't something that it needed to slide in first, on the front or the back. That's what I'm kind of doing here. But kind of back to what I was saying about the other stock, it just isn't rigid enough, and they don't do anything to bed the action into the stock, and I just could not get that rifle to group at all. So this Woox stock, as you can see, it's absolutely gorgeous. It is going to be with this action for the rest of this gun's life. I like the 300 Win Mag, and I don't think personally that it kicks all that bad, to be honest with you. It's got that muzzle brake on the end of it, and I think that there's no problem. You can see how good that looks there as I'm looking at it. And but putting this heavier stock on there, it will reduce the recoil. I think this stock configuration here weighed around 3.5 pounds. So now you've probably got around a 7 or 8 pound rifle. But my Ruger 25-06 with the bull barrel weighs 10 pounds. I've got a Tikka with the bull barrel. It's heavy. I've got and I prefer my rifles like that. Like I said, the downside with this Vanguard is with that 300 Win Mag, man, it gets super duper hot whenever you're firing it. It is really meant to be a cold barrel, one shot, the deer's down deal. Maybe you get a follow-up shot. By that third shot, that barrel is so hot it really starts throwing your rounds off, and then you can just forget shooting 5 shots in a row. You will be all over the paper, and you'll be really, really frustrated by the time you're done with that. I did find out that this particular rifle, this Vanguard that I have, it's got a 26-inch barrel on it with that muzzle brake. It and the Cerakote, it likes its favorite ammunition is the cheap Remington Core Lock 180 grain soft tips. I tried Hornady Precision in it. I tried, some ballistic tip Remingtons. Let's see, I'm trying to remember all the ones that I did try. I know I tried Hornady, Remington. I think I tried some Winchesters. I tried them all. Oh, Federal. I had a friend of mine that had one. He had the same problem, and he put the Federal, and the Federal shot best in his. It wasn't a Vanguard. It was a different brand. I think it was a Remington that he had. But I found that the Remington Core Lock worked the best. You can see me leaving to go do the first milling, and I just took my time. I didn't get too crazy with the milling. Like I said, I only had to take off a teeny tiny bit to get this to sit in there, and it's probably because I don't think it's because of Woox stocks being off. I think they took Vanguard and milled it out to that spec, and then that Cerakote finish on it, maybe just put a little bit of maybe just a little bit too big, and it wouldn't fit in there. So like I said, I'm working on it here. I did a little bit of milling. I'm going to go back here. You'll see me walk away in a second and just do a little bit more, and then this thing is going to be together and lickety split. When you do put this action into this stock, they recommend 55 foot-pounds for torque. So if you're going to do this, just invest the 25 or 30 bucks or whatever it is, 45, whatever it is. I bought mine. I bought mine at Walmart. It's a Wheeler. You can get the Wheeler little torque wrench. I think it's called the Fat Wrench or something, and that way you can get precision torquing on your rifle, so that thing doesn't come, especially with a 300 Win Mag. You don't want that action coming loose, because then you're trying to sight it in. It'll really drive you crazy. Same thing with your scope rings. You know, you really want to have the correct torque spec on those screws. One, you don't want to overdo it and you know, kind of pinch down too much on your scope and damage your scope. You don't want your scope coming loose if you don't do it enough. So I think you know, you got to have that torque, that inch-pound torque set to be able to do that. And I just found that the Wheeler with, you know, the hand grip Wheeler is just easy, precise, and I had no problems with it. So right now I've finished the final milling on it, putting it together, and you know, what I was doing there was cleaning that little bit of Loctite off of those screws. You really don't want to put Loctite on those screws, but I had to, because I couldn't get them to 25 inch-pounds before. And when I called and talked to Weatherby, they were like, you know, that 300 Win Mag, it's not going to hold. Even with the Loctite, it's not going to stay together with that 300. Whoop, about to drop my gun right there. It's not going to stay together at 15 inch-pounds. They told me, you know, I'm going to need to find a better way to do that. So, you know, I'm dialing this Wheeler up right here to 55 inch-pounds, and I'm going to torque these down. But I wanted to make sure that I had all of that Loctite off those threads, so that it was clean going in, and I won't have any problems getting it back out if I ever needed to. So the Wheeler is kind of a dial up. It's not you have to kind of twist it at the bottom to get it up to the inch-pound that you're looking for, and that's what I'm doing right here. I'm kind of dialing that up. And like I said, I bought that Wheeler, I think, at Walmart for under 50 bucks, and it comes with several torque bits, and just a easy little tool to use. And like I said, the 55 inch-pounds came from Woox. That's what they recommended for this stock, because you are going straight into aluminum billet, and they always recommend that you do you snug them down, but you torque the back bolt first, the back torque first behind the trigger, and then you torque the front one first. So I get all this done, and like I said, you'll see in a minute, it looks beautiful. I took it to the range, and it was off a little bit from where I had previously sighted it in, and it didn't take me very long to see here I'm going to 55, and that thing just slips around. Once it hits 55, it just slips around. It won't go any tighter. So you can't mess up the threads. You know, you can't mess up the gun. It just slips right around. You can't over tighten it. But anyway, I take it out to the range, and I'm able to shoot a 2-shot group that a nickel will cover at 100 yards. And like I said, the third shot wants to be a little bit of a flyer, and typically it will be you know, maybe an inch away. So if the barrel gets too hot. Now, if I were to slow the shots down, where I was maybe shooting one shot every 5 minutes, I could probably get that 3-shot group. That's how I got the 3-shot group with a floated barrel. So here I am, got it put together. I'm checking the action. Everything looks really, really good here, and you know, this thing just shoots and looks amazing. I'm very happy with it. And you know, I hope you enjoy watching this video of me putting this together. And you know, if you're thinking about getting another stock, I think you should think about the Woox brand. It is an absolutely beautiful stock. Makes any gun, it's going to make any gun look better if you like the wood finish like I do. You know, kind of old school there, but you got the mixture of the old school and the billet aluminum, and with that Cerakote finish, man, it just looks fantastic. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it helps you decide what you want to do with your stocks. And again, thank you for watching Salty Flag TV. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good one.